Cram is calling this final elite men's race.
Well, the guys, as you saw, they're ready and waiting. And as I said, as far as the team overall challenge is concerned, Europe are in a dominant position. And one athlete I haven't really mentioned, who may well figure for them here, we'll come on to him in just a second as we see the introductions, because I'm sure Garrett Heath will get a big welcome here from this Edinburgh crowd. As we said, 3 wins, 2 in the short course, and then last year with that, it was still a shock really to see, although as Paula rightly pointed out, his prowess on the country, to do it over 8K against Mo Farah was a bit of a shock. Now, Aras Kaya, another former Kenyan running for Turkey, representing European. Kaya, again, dominant at the European Cross-Country Championships, where Callum Hawkins chased him home. Brilliant 2016, that 9th place at the Olympic Marathon, and of course he led that race for a decent time as well.
Representing Team Great Britain and Northern Ireland, Sir Mo Farah.
Well, he's going to have to get used to that, isn't he? Sir Mo Farah, introduced to the crowd, and there, well, you don't need to keep repeating his phenomenal performances over the last 6 years. So away they go then, the men's race over 8 kilometres. That's 2 short laps and then 4 long laps. Mo Farah taking on last year's winner, Garrett Heath. Throw in there Kaya, the European cross-country champion, and the local favourite Callum Hawkins. And an intriguing race in prospect I think we have here. And no surprise really that right from the beginning, to the cheers of the local crowd, Callum Hawkins slips himself into the lead, has a little look behind, and Garrett Heath not too far away. And as Paula was discussing there with Gabby, conditions do have a real impact in cross-country year on year. Courses, ground underfoot, and it doesn't, different conditions means that certain athletes can thrive when on other conditions they don't. And it'll be really interesting to see whether Garrett Heath is able to repeat that brilliant performance last year on a firmer, less muddy course this year. At the end of the day, though, the pedigree that he's shown, that Hawkins has shown, Kaya has, obviously Mo Farah has, I'm sure will come to the fore here. Andy Vernon just moving up on the outside. Good, strong British contingent. Just quickly go through them. I mentioned Farah, Hawkins, Vernon, of course. Dowie Griffiths, Ben Connor, who ran well at the European Championships. Young Mohammed, who moves up from the junior ranks, picked up a bronze medal individually. He moves up to represent Great Britain seniors for the first time today. Johnny Taylor from Morpeth, Charlie Holson, Alex George, Ellis Cross, Jack Martin and Graham Rush. So a big British team. And as I said, I'm not sure they're going to be able to drag themselves back into the lead in the overall team challenge, but they'll want to finish ahead of the USA and Europe here if they can. But Paula, I'll begin with you. Brendan's ready to pick up the mic. Actually, both of you didn't mind going to the front, did you, in your careers? And he's never fearful. The one thing Callum Hawkins runs with is a complete and utter lack of fear. He always has respect, but he has no fear of anybody.
Which is absolutely the way that you need to attack cross-country and indeed marathon running. You need to have that respect for the distance, for the courses that you're racing on, but not be afraid of it. And I think Callum's lack of fear, if you like, comes from his confidence in the preparation and in the training that he's done, and he knows he's in the shape of his life. He ran really well through last year, went away and built on that again in Farah in his altitude training stint before the European Cross Country Championships, came out and really committed to racing there as well. Wasn't afraid to go with the leaders and to cover the moves, and absolutely racing like that again here today.
Well, Brendan, we're used to seeing Mo Farah not necessarily being at the front when the Olympic 10,000 metre gets underway, but already Mo is well back in the pack. Have these guys gone off a little quick here? A couple of short laps. Pearson, we wouldn't expect to figure. And Callum's getting sucked in a little bit to kind of racing him in these early stages.
They've gone off really, really quickly. They've gone off too quickly. They're going to have to settle and slow down. It's 8 kilometres. It's a good distance. It's 6 laps to run. 2 short laps and then 4 long laps, and you can tell by the cadence of Callum Hawkins that they're going really quickly. And if you look at the gaps that are opening already, it just tells you that this race has started with a fierce pace. And Pearson, the American, surprisingly, has decided to take them on, and he's acting like a pacemaker at the moment. He's working hard, he's running hard, but Callum Hawkins, who when I saw him on the start line, there's Mo Farah right in the back of the group, they've just taken it to Mo, and maybe the fact that Mo's in the race has given them that little bit of extra urgency, but they've gone off far too quickly, and they certainly will have to slow down soon.
Yeah, 2:51 that first kilometre, and given the fact that you've got another 7 to go, that was pretty swift. It is cross country, and you should always have to be a little bit careful about times, but that's quick enough. Garrett Heath right up there. But it's interesting when you think of how good Aris Kaya, the sort of form he's in, he's happy to sit back, maybe watching Mo Farah a little bit, but Mo is right back in the pack. There he is, just going through. He's a long way back. I would have expected at least to see him at the front or near the front of that chasing pack, accepting that these three have really put their foot down early. But Mo at the moment, a long way. Not so much in terms of distance. Well, actually, it is quite a distance, isn't he? Paul is looking and thinking, yeah. But anyway, at the front, already two of the pre-race favourites, Callum Hawkins and Garrett Heath, just opening a little bit of a gap up.
Well, let's put it this way, it's not exactly an intentional sitting back and controlling the field as we've seen so many times on the track. This is really people taking the race to Mo Farah, and at the moment he's really struggling to respond to that in any way. I wonder if there was a little bit of team tactics going on there, in that Pearson really got the ball rolling on that first lap, and now Garrett Heath can build on that, but he will have been a little bit surprised probably to see Callum Hawkins say, no, you're not having it your own way, I'm going to come in there too.
Well, as we see these two at the front in our first big competition of 2017, you can see scrolling through underneath there all of the athletics you'll be able to watch on BBC right throughout the summer, in addition to all of the events, including those trials for the World Championships and the Diamond League in London, before we head back to that same stadium for those World Championships. All of the Diamond League races throughout the season, you'll be able to see highlights of all of those as well on the BBC, so plenty of athletics to look forward to right the way through until September. So it all begins here. What a year we hope is in prospect for Callum Hawkins, of course for Mo Farah, but today, not often you say this, as we've been saying, just waiting for his name to come through. There he is, 16th, 12 seconds down. So Mo has started very, very slowly by his standards.
Well, the others have started very, very quickly by their standards, but we haven't seen Mo Farah in the middle of a pack like this and coming under pressure for a lot of years. His early career, he used to win occasionally and he used to lose sometimes. His recent career, he tends to win races, and if he doesn't win them, he's right in contention. But here, I just noticed Callum Hawkins looking over his shoulder after the first lap, and a little smile across his face when he saw the fact that the gaps were opened, and the great Mo Farah, and he literally is the greatest athlete we've ever had, in the middle of the pack, 12 seconds behind, and Callum Hawkins, the man who grew up last year. There's Mo working hard. He's always known about working hard. That's what he does. That's what he's always done. And you can bet your bottom dollar that wherever he finishes today, Mo will give an account of himself. He'll be 100% committed to the event. He may not be as fit as he normally is, and he certainly won't be as fit today as he will be in August in the World Championship in London. But there's Mo Farah, athletes around him. A slight look of disappointment on his face there because he's out of contention so far, and Callum Hawkins is running as an excited young man in front of his home crowd. He's got good athletes from America behind him, but he's doing the job.
And the Americans are indeed packing well. 28 points after 2 laps. 2 short laps, a long way to go. But actually that deficit they put between themselves and Europe means that overall the USA are back in front ahead of Europe. As I said, Great Britain not really, I don't think, going to lift themselves. Mo trying to move through the pack at the minute, but it's all down to Callum Hawkins at the front. So it's Hawkins, now Korea up there with Garrett Heath, and again with Chalanga as well, Kebenai in Korea, and indeed Hillary Bohr as well, the American team full of Kenyans, most of whom went there to college and have been there quite a few years and eventually been given US citizenship, now competing for US. But Mo, a long way down there. And I bet you it hasn't been too many years that Ben Connor's been running alongside Mo Farah after a couple of miles in the cross-country race. But Mo just starting to move a little further up the field.
But if you look at him closely, as we just did there, you'll see a different look on his face. He looks as though he knows he's not in control of this race today. These three guys have got a big lead now, and it's up to them to decide how this race goes. Mo's so far behind now that he's got to actually commit to the race himself. But these guys have to slow now, otherwise Mo's got no chance of catching them. But if you look at Callum Hawkins, he's done his homework. You know, he's a marathon runner. He's run an exceptional half marathon recently. He's been training hard. He ran a good cross country just before Christmas, and here he is on his home patch, a race he's been aiming for. And there's Mo Farah, and just look at him, just look closely. You'll see the expression on his face that you don't see when Mo's in complete control on the track. This is Mo Farah being at the mercy of other athletes, whereas normally the other athletes are at his mercy. He controls, he dictates, and he almost orchestrates these races when he wins them. He's not orchestrating this today.
I tell you, it's almost a look of panic on his face, Bren. It's like, what do I do here? This is a bit of a wake-up call. I've come here, I've had a great end to the year, and I wanted to come out and race well, and this really isn't going well. And it's a bigger look of panic than you saw when he fell in Rio and got himself up there, because there he knew he was still in control. But the person really impressive here is Callum Hawkins. When you look back as far as Kaya, who beat him in those European cross-country championships, I mean, yes, it's a different course and it's a different style of race, but that's a huge distance back to a man that he finished a fair distance behind in Sardinia.
So they're coming to complete the first of the long laps. They had the two short ones, 4 long, so approaching kind of halfway in this race. So Callum Hawkins just had a little look behind to see who he's got for company. He's got Leonard Correa, who was in that Olympic final with Mo Farah in the 10,000 metres, and Garrett Heath, the winner from last year. Look at Mo. That's a man working hard. He's now got himself into second place as far as Great Britain are concerned, because he's just moved ahead of Johnny Taylor and Dowie Griffiths, but he's still out of the top 10. There he is, 12th, so he's moved up 20 seconds behind the leaders, and it's a hard day at the office for Mo Farah. But this sort of thing, you know, I know what you guys are saying, and I think he will want to run as well as he can. He's going to try as hard as he can, but I don't think he'll get that distressed afterwards. He knows what the big target is for the year, and he knows he came here, you know, he had to have a bit of downtime after the Olympics, and he's got to build up again, and he's in that process now. He knew coming here today was a risk in terms of trying to win it. I don't think any of us actually, the three of us sitting here, actually Paula thought he might win, but he knew it was going to be tough for him. I'm just surprised that he kind of started so slowly.
Well, I think the interesting thing is that this is a race which Mo hasn't aimed for. His race is in the summer. His races were last summer. And at the end of the day, the downtime that you talked about, Steve, is absolutely right. But I think it's a great reminder to come out this time of the year, early in the new year. He comes out, he runs against a bunch of quality athletes, and remember on the track, they're not that far behind Mo on the track when he wins. And here he is doing what I thought he would do today. He would stick to the task. He's working hard. He's working his way through the field. He knows this is not the norm. He's got a bunch of American athletes ahead of him. He'll be competing, because if you one thing that's defined Mo Farah's career is that he's always prepared to work harder than anybody else. And Callum Hawkins, he's setting this up for the other two athletes. Garrett Heath is running a quiet race in 3rd place. Callum Hawkins is running strongly and running well. Correa on his shoulder. They're very lucky that they've got an athlete who's running so quickly, and he's prepared to do the work, and they're sheltering behind him. So now it's about time that Callum starts thinking about the strategy of the race. He hasn't run away from the field. He's ahead of the field, but he's got to now think how he's going to do in the later stages. This is a great career opportunity for him. It's a great opportunity for him to win a big race, a big international race in front of his home crowd, and a big opportunity to take the scalp. The first time we've ever seen a Knight of the Realm running a cross-country race, Mo Farah, and he's further down the field, and to have Mo in the lower down the ranks and have him ahead of him, that's a great one for Callum.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mo might be trying to hand that back. It's weighing him down a little bit running around here today. But I think probably definitely the celebrations of the end of the year, and the fact that he hasn't focused on this will be affecting the way that Mo's raced today. He won't have expected them to go off as hard and as fast as they did, and definitely that was in Callum Hawkins' plan, and he would have known that that was to his advantage to try and get this pace moving as quickly as possible. And yes, I agree that Gareth Heath and Korea are having a little bit of a ride on the coattails of Callum Hawkins, but they're working hard and they're having to work very hard to maintain that contact. And I think Callum Hawkins knows that this is his best chance to try and win this race here today, is to keep turning that screw in the middle of the race and keep making everybody work hard and run the finish out of them.
So Callum Hawkins, when they complete this lap, they'll have 2 more big laps to go, and every now and then, particularly on the hills, he just gets a little bit of a lead, and then they sort of work hard to get back. Gareth Heath, though, is having to hang on to Korea, and if Korea lets Callum Hawkins go, and on this occasion Callum may be sensing that gap, because it is that invisible elastic band, isn't it? And if you can snap it, and then you get that lead that they can't hold back again. So Callum Hawkins using this bit of the course. Look there, Korea realising, understanding, and the fact that Korea is just hanging on means that he now is pulling away from Gareth Heath, and it's Gareth Heath who is losing contact. And he'll see as they go across the stream and away and down the hill. I expect that little lead to get a bit bigger. So Korea hanging on to Callum Hawkins, but the crowd doing their best. Great crowds here in Holyrood Park watching the local hero. Well, he's from down the road in Glasgow, but nonetheless flying the flag for Scotland and for Great Britain here. 2 laps to go.
And he's getting a lot of support out there, and he's also, the key thing about lap courses, whether it's for a marathon or whether it's for cross country here today, is it gives you the opportunity to learn the course a little bit on each lap. And what Callum Hawkins is learning is that he's the stronger up that hill every time around. So he's learning that and he's storing that up, and he will be using that to his advantage later on in the race. We can see Kaya there just going through, still a fair way back, but is definitely making up ground on that lead 3-2, as is Mo Farah here in this group.
And Mo's working hard, and that's what is a familiar sight. Mo working hard like this every day of the year, really grafting now. He knows he's not in top form. His advisor and his coach and partner was talking about this yesterday, and they said he's clearly not in form. He's ahead of Andy Vernon, who's going through there, and he's ahead of the rest of the British team, apart from Callum Hawkins. But now this is a race, and it's about the strategy for Callum Hawkins. He's never won a big race like this before. He's never had such great athletes around him, and I think the one thing we're seeing already is that Callum Hawkins is running the finish out of last year's winner, Gareth Heath, the athlete who's come here on, this is his 4th occasion. Every time Gareth Heath has run here before, he's taken the scalp of Olympic champions by winning the race, and now he's not going to win this one. He's suddenly started to slow. They're on the penultimate lap. Callum Hawkins has led for almost every step of the way, and the pressure of leading also tells. So now Callum's got to start thinking about, how am I going to win this one?
It was interesting. I mean, you'd look at it and go, Mo Farah moved up there. He moved into 7th place, but he actually lost 8 seconds on Callum Hawkins. Callum Hawkins moved 8 seconds further away from Mo. If you took Mo as so that at the front they're going quicker, and despite the fact that people are changing positions behind them, these guys are really forging on. You can see there USA and Great Britain, 1st and 2nd, USA winning ahead of Europe, and it means it's all closing up in terms of the overall match standings. The gap between USA and Europe is now only 14 points, and that will change. 2 laps to go, so very close in the overall match standings. Great Britain out of it really, and down to those 2 to see who comes out on top. The Americans started very dominantly in this race, but 1 or 2 just starting to slip back a little bit. So Hawkins leads, as Brendan was saying, the front runners curse, if you like. Have you got the strength? Have you got the ability to pull away? Does the fact that Korea is still close enough? You can hear the breathing, you can hear the footsteps occasionally, even though we're on the country, well aware that he's right there with him. And like Paula said, this is the section, Paula, where I think he's got a chance of moving away. He moves better over this bit of the ground and certainly goes better up the hill. He might just want to leave it till the last lap to make a big effort. It'll be interesting to see whether he tries to get away here.
Yeah, I think the key now is how he gauges his effort and how he manages what he has left in his legs, because undoubtedly the pace he set off at and the way he's attacked this race, both of these guys are tired, and you can just see the way that Correa just jumped over there and almost grabbed the rope or the stake holding the rope into the ground, and made Callum jump a little bit. But I think just letting him know that he's still there and he looks good still. He still does look comfortable, Correa, hanging in there. But yeah, the smart thing for Callum to do now would be to just back off a little bit, save something in his legs to really attack this section on the last and final lap. But this is exciting. This is exciting to see Callum Hawkins running so well there. And we talk about Mo Farah moving forward and moving on to the marathons and moving on to the roads. He's going to have a big challenge just to be the best British guy on the roads if Callum keeps on improving at this rate.
And he is improving, and once again he's doing what he's tried to do before. He's trying to stretch it on the tough part of the course, but Correa has had an easy ride. You know, he's just been following. When he jumped over the water there, he looked particularly comfortable. He's doing it in style. Callum Hawkins, he's trying to win this one. He's got great fans here. They're urging him along, but Correa is beginning to threaten. He's moving up onto his shoulder with comfort and with ease on occasion. These are the chances for Callum Hawkins. This little incline and this jump over the water. Can he do it again? And can he now? He keeps looking over his shoulder. He's now got to think about tactics. How is he going to try? As they come down the hill, he'll hear the bell sound. 1 lap to go in front of his home crowd. Can he keep it going enough? Can he do something different on the last lap? Just by leading, he hasn't been able to break Correa. Correa's a minute faster than him over 10,000 metres on the track. He's a better runner on the track than Callum Hawkins. So now we're going to find out who's better on the country. Is it Hawkins or is it Leonard Correa of America running just next to him?
Callum Hawkins leads by just half a metre or so. The European champion Kaya has now moved into 3rd spot. Chalanga giving chase, and as Garrett Heath just starts to drift back, he's made a brave defence here, and he got sucked into going out there really hard, Garrett Heath, and he's just paying for it a little bit. He might have half an eye on Mo Farah behind him chasing. There's Mo Farah. He's working so hard, and you know, for Mo, you wouldn't normally expect to see him with Ilada's company next to him. So I think, you know, it's a tough day, as we said, for Mo. Sorry, it's Pachiki, but he's still sticking to the task as well as he can. He's now 36 seconds behind Callum Hawkins, and I'm loving this. I'm loving watching Callum Hawkins do his utmost to get away from Leonard Correa. As Brendan said, Correa on the track, better pedigree, 13:15 at 5,000, a minute quicker at 10,000. Actually, Callum's new half marathon personal best is a bit better than Correa's. He also ran a personal best this year at 61 minutes, but this is here in Edinburgh in January. Callum Hawkins in front of a home crowd, now working really hard. He probably knows if he's going to win this, he needs to get a 10-15 metre lead before they come onto that last downhill section.
He's trying to win it now. He really is. He's thinking now, okay, he's settled a little on that last lap, and you can see the intense look on his face. A yard or two is growing. Now this is a bit of a chance for Callum Hawkins up that hill, but he didn't take that particularly well. Correa responded to him quickly. Now a yard or two. Can it grow further? Steve was describing earlier the distance runner's curse for the leader. Can you open enough yards? Can you disillusion the other athlete? And here they come. Look how hard he's working. Look at the look on his face. He's getting fantastic support, but he needs that fantastic support. That yard has grown to 3 or 4. Is it enough?
It just needs to grow a tiny bit more. I mean, it's much easier to actually break that distance on the cross country and on the road than it is on the track, because you can always maintain that vision and that sight on the person in front of you. And on the cross country, with the twists and the turns, you can build up that gap a little bit more in the mind of the person chasing, and he's trying to do that at the moment. Callum Hawkins is really working hard, and wouldn't it be great to be able to see him going into a world cross country on a real tough cross country course this year? Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see that. He doesn't want to make the trip out to Uganda, so he will be moving on to focusing on the roads for the rest of the winter after these cross country races. But it would be great to see him head into that with a strong victory here today, but that gap just isn't quite big enough yet.
That's exactly what I was about to say. This gap needs to be bigger. Correa knows it and is closing again on Hawkins, who made a massive effort to get away, and he just wants to make sure here, doesn't he, because he knows how strong Callum Hawkins has been around this section. So for the first time, the American moves to the lead. So Hawkins tries to hang in there It is going to come down to a big kick. Does that mean the former Kenyan running for America is worried about his kick here? And look at Callum Hawkins. This is great to see. Has he broken him this time? He's got to go hard round here, hard up the hill. Get about 15-20 metres if he can. Callum Hawkins forging on.
400 metres ago, and Callum Hawkins is digging deep. This is the bit of the course that he's tried to extend the lead. Now he's got a lead. A glance over his shoulder. He's sprinting along the top. The gap's growing, and he comes to the last water jump, as it were. Can he get over it? Can he negotiate it? Is he strong enough?
Well, this is brilliant running from Callum Hawkins, the man from Paisley, being cheered by this home crowd here in Edinburgh. Has led from the very first step of this race. A real test of cross-country ability, but it's a test of his competitiveness. A little slip there over this stream, but he's got enough. Career of the USA, trying hard to chase him home. Mo Farah couldn't hold off Garrett Heath last year. America won this race, and it could yet be America, because Career is coming hard. And Callum Hawkins looks over his shoulder, and he fights again. Has he got enough? It's going to be tight on the line, and Career just gets it. Career of the USA just pips Callum Hawkins on the line. Well, we said, didn't we, it had to be a big enough lead. It looked big enough. We thought it was big enough as Kaya comes in to take third. Just for a second around that top corner, a slip, a little slip across the stream. Did that just make him lose a little bit of momentum? That just gave Career the thought, and that's all you need. You just need enough of a little thought that, hey, I can still catch him. Big finish from Career to win it. We saw a great sprint finish from Garrett Heath last year. He's having to settle for 6th on this occasion. And then Mo Farah, hard work for Mo today. 46 seconds behind the winner, finishes in 7th place to be the second man home for Great Britain today. That was hard. Isn't it funny that Heath and Farah still very close in terms of the race this year, but not 1 and 2. It was 6th and 7th this time. Well, what a finish we had there. As we see Andy Vernon, I know Andy's been suffering with a bit of cold as well. I think 12th, maybe not a true reflection of his form at the minute. Well, what a finish we had there. Such a shame for Callum Hawkins. He was 3rd at the European Championships, and it looked as though he had victory in his grasp here today. But Leonard Career is a fine athlete, and we said when it came down to a sprint finish, it might just be that the American might have enough. We needed a big gap at the end. It wasn't quite there. And all of a sudden, when Callum Hawkins thought he'd had it won, there comes the challenge. He tries to respond, and then Career again was able to come back again. The crowd doing their best at cheering to the line, but not quite enough. But what a performance from Callum Hawkins. And these two well ahead of the rest. So it was America winning, Callum Hawkins second. So let's tidy all of that up. Career was in that Olympic final, as we said, over 10,000 metres, a long way behind Mo Farah on that occasion, a long way ahead of him today. 24 minutes and 3 seconds his winning time. Callum Hawkins in the end just 1 second behind. The European champion, Aris Kaya, finishing in 3rd place. Mo Farah just behind Garrett Heath, the two of them 1 and 2 last year, as I said, 6th and 7th in 2017.
But there's a new king of the Edinburgh cross country, and it is Leonard Career. But Callum Hawkins ran him so close. That was a fantastic race to watch. Congratulations, Leonard.
Thank you very much. I like the race. I can't believe I won. I was already saying I'm number 2. I knew I was going number 2. But I said, let me give it all and make sure that he beats me by like half a second. But I realized
It never looked like you said I'm number 2, and it didn't feel like that to you, I imagine, Callum, either. You ran him close, and that gap did appear at one point to have got big enough.
Yeah, but I was just putting it all out there, and I was really tiring at the end. But it was a really fun race, and this guy just wouldn't leave me alone. I was hoping, I was putting everything in it just to drop him, but he was a stronger man in the day, and we've made some good racing.
You made a little bit of headway, didn't you, going up the last hill, and it looked like you opened the gap. But were there any tactics on that last lap that you were trying to employ to get rid of Leonard?
A little bit, push it on I made a dig just going into the first lap on that big drag there. I was just trying to take every opportunity with every little hill and every corner to get by him, or to get away from him, but he just hung in there and was too strong for me in the end.
After a fantastic 2016, this is a great start to 2017. At the moment, your plan's still not to compete in the World Cross Country?
No, definitely not doing the Worlds. It's all gearing up for the World Championships in London. Doing the marathon there, I've been pre-selected, so that's what my main aim is for the year.
Okay, well, hopefully you'll have many more hotly contested races like that in 2017. Well done, guys. That was thoroughly entertaining. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get out to Steve, who's going to just mop up the whole thing for us and find out the team scores. Have they changed dramatically, Steve?
Well, it was all very exciting in the end. The USA winning that race with 37 points, led by Leonard there. Great Britain and Europe, identical points, 70 points, but Charlie Hulson was our last counter in 18th place, ahead of Carlos Mayo of Europe, who was 19. So therefore Great Britain given second place in that particular race. So we add all of that into the overall total, and it's the USA just by 3 points ahead of Europe. They win the challenge in 2017. Great performance from them, really kicked off by their junior men. They built up a big lead in the very first race of the afternoon, and that was enough so that they could hold on in the end, despite the European women doing so well and then doing pretty well in that men's race as well, but not good enough in the end. And Great Britain having to settle for third with 208 points.
Well, I've been joined up here by Sir Mo. Well done, Mo. That looked like it was pretty hard work out there today.
Yeah, nice hard day in the office. Just got to be honest with yourself. It's not what I wanted, but it's where I am. And got quite a lot of work to do, but to be honest,
if you mentioned honesty a couple of times, so if you're being honest with yourself, are you a little bit behind where you would be, say, in a normal calendar year, just because of what has happened to you in the last 16 months or so, in the last extraordinary few months?
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm definitely a little bit behind. Yeah, the last bit of training hasn't gone as well as I wanted, but it's all about team event, and I want to come out here, represent my country, and help the guys. But early on, it was like one of those things where 10 days beforehand, it's like, what do I do? You can't. I did a session, and I knew from that things. It's going to be a hard day, but at the same time, I wanted to come out here, represent my country, and run with the guys. It's all about having fun, and cross country is where it started for me.
Yeah, and we saw you, we see that footage, fantastic footage of you as a kid enjoying the cross country, winning the cross country as a 14, 15-year-old. Does it evoke those memories of why you first started in this sport?
Yeah, no, definitely. I love the sport. So but at the same time, it's like everything you have to work hard and graft, and it's give the youngsters something as well. Anyone who can come along here, Edinburgh, and watch you and see you working.
So you're heading into a tough period of training now. What's the next on the agenda and the calendar for Mo?
I'm going to go back home and then go back and then hopefully plan my next training camp, and got quite a bit of work to do, so I need to start planning. And I've got a great team behind me, so I'm not panicking at this point. It's early season, it's January. I've got to get ready for London 2017. That's the main aim, but at the same time, it's hard work.
And everybody wants a piece of you, including the Palace. Do you know the date of your investiture yet?
Not yet. I'm not even thinking that yet.
No, do you know who you're taking? Because, if you've got a spare ticket...
Definitely the wife, for sure.
You've got enough kids to choose from anyway.
Yeah, I'd love to take my kids there, but I think they're too young to understand. Maybe Rihanna and my wife. Maybe.
Okay, well, look, good luck with that. Good luck with the rest of your year. 2016 was fantastic. Let's hope 2017 for you produces more goods, more golds, and, of course, more success. And there's more than athletics on the BBC in 2017. We've got a cracking year of sport coming up.
Field here, but Andrew deciding not to race. That would have been interesting. He's been in great form this year, so Mo, apart from anything else, needs to show that he's still Britain's #1 distance runner, which of course he is. Huge cheer for him. Mention one or two of the others. Nelson Kipkoski, Olympic steeplechaser. Cripper, cross-country fans will know him. Rock was in the 5,000 metre final in Rio. Nick Goulab getting a chance of a run here. Al-Bakali, a new kind of name for the Moroccans at steeplechase, not doing too badly last year. Andy Hayes, Johnny Davis as well, given the chance to run. If Mo goes really fast, some of these guys are going to get lapped. So the official British record is 13:21.27. I expect Mo to be much quicker than that. That's Nick Rose's from New York back in 1982. Different time, a different place. Mo has run quicker indoors, but for record purposes, Nick Rose's time is the official British record, and the official European record, which might be another target, belongs to Bob Tari at 13 minutes 11.13. That goes back to 2010. So Clark has been asked to certainly set out at sub 13:10 pace. Mo's orchestrating the crowd, wants a little bit of atmosphere, and I think that's what will get him moving here, Paula. If the crowd really get into this, Mo fancies it, and I said right at the beginning there, in answer to Gabby's question, surely wants to test himself a little bit, wants to push at some point in the race.
Yeah, I mean, I just chatted to him a bit at breakfast this morning, and he didn't actually know at that point that his 13:10 had ever been ratified as a record. So that was news to him, and I think coming into the race, he maybe thought, oh, maybe I'll go for it, maybe I won't. Now I think it has definitely become, I want to walk away from this track today as the official British record holder and get everything done right today. So he's definitely started as if he means business. He's not hanging around at the back, as we often see when he's not really committed to running a quick time. He's settled in behind Adam Clark. He's very used to being in that position. They train together a lot, as you said. He relies on Adam to just get the pace moving, and then hopefully he can just maintain that momentum and feel good out there over these first couple of laps.
Well, anyone who can go back to 1982 when Nick Rose set that record will remember a certain guy called Dave Mocroft running 13 minutes outdoors, and that I think averages at 62.4, something like that, which is about what Clarkey went through the first 400 here. So 13-minute pace at the front, and I think you're right. I think, you know, for Mo, we talk in training, don't we, about tempo runs and things, and this is almost time trialing slash a tempo at some point. He's going to be in front, stretching it out, and it's really how hard he wants to go. As Clarkey just starts to slow a little bit already, but Mo Farah just giving him a little bit nudge, say, come on, keep it going. 2.5 through 800, pace is good. It's just a question of how many laps Adam Clark can keep this sort of pace going, but it is fast in the early stages, that's why they're all strung out. So Farah sitting there in second place, and as I said, they set off here in around 13, a low 13-minute pace as they go through the first 1,000 meters.
Eric Kinnard in the high jump. It's only Kinnard and Grabars left in. 2:31, second attempt, gets it. So Kinnard puts his nose in front because Grabars also carrying a failure at his first attempt at 2:31. Well, we saw them going toe-to-toe in jest. Now they do it in high jump terms because it's over to Grabars to see if he can match what the American has just achieved in going clear at 2:31. So then, that was the lead for Kinnard. Robbie Grabars is capable of clearing this height. Little skip into that, just a minor error. That was in fact his third attempt. So game over, 3 fouls and he's out. But a good performance for Grabars. 2:28, a season's best. Silver World Indoors last year, of course, for Robbie going into that European Indoor Championships. We wish him all the best. Good competition. Second place today, but 2:28 season's best. Very credible indeed.
Yeah, they're still well strung out. The pace has come up a little bit. It was interesting, wasn't it, in that first couple laps? Paul and I just chatting about it, how Adam Clark obviously thought, I've gone a bit quick here. Mo said, no, keep going, keep going. So that's what he's done, and it's those guys. By the way, there's going to be some pain out there because there are people in that lead pack who are running at a pace which, you know, if they keep it going, brilliant, but you just suspect there's going to be some real pain for one or two of them over the last 1,000 meters or so. Anyway, Clarkey's done his business. He's done as many laps as he can. Rock, the Olympic finalist, is the only one at the minute close to Mo Farah, and the others now just starting to stretch out or be strung out a little bit. Hayes is doing a great job. Andy Hayes there from the Hallamshire Club, the yellow vest, in third place, going very, very quick. You've got to bear in mind that there's only 6 men have ever run under 13 minutes. I mean, we're dropping off that pace now, but just to give you an idea. And if Mo is looking for sub 13:10 or something like that, then even that, you know, is a pretty good pace. But that's a much slower 1,000, 2:39. They went 2:36, 2:39 for that second 1,000, Paul. I've just slowed down a bit.
Yeah, but I mean, the pack behind Mo Farah there, definitely the likes of Andy Hayes will be very glad that that pace has backed off a little bit, because they're now in territory that gives them a little bit more of a chance of shooting a personal best, and certainly going to get personal best, because a lot of these guys have probably not even run 5,000 metres indoors before, but are acquitting themselves really well. I mean, just behind Andy Hayes is Murad Amdouni of France, who actually did beat Mekkonen and Ibrahimov in nets this year already, so he's running well indoors. And I think none of them are real dangers to Mo in this race, but they're able to stay with him just shows that Mo hasn't really started to move yet, and he's quite happy just to control this race and just to basically check up at the screen every time he goes down that back straight and wait a little bit and just keep that momentum moving and see who's able to stay with it and who's looking dangerous behind him.
Yeah, it's kind of dropped to a sort of steadier pace, if you like, here, and that's why the pack are still with him, because I would have expected that pack to start to drop off had he kept the pace really on. So he's not running slow, though. He's keeping it going steady rather than really fast. But it's interesting for me. I think if he gets to 3,000 metres and things that feel good, that's when he'll start to push on. I think he'll want to get 3K out of the way, hopefully somewhere around about 8 minutes to give him a chance to come back in the last 2K. But you know, he has that ability that nobody else has on that last 300-400, and that is always, he's got that in his back pocket always, hasn't he, if he's not feeling great.
He absolutely has. I mean, I think he knows that he's got this victory. Pretty much whatever he does today, whatever anybody else does, he has the answers to it. It is a shame that Andrew Butchart isn't here, because the form that he's been in this year and the way he's been moving forward over the last couple of years, it would have been nice to see him, and I think it would have changed the way that Mo's raced, but he's not here. We hope everything is okay there and that he will go on to race well in the summer this summer. But now it's all about Mo. Andy Hayes now decided, no, okay, I'm not going to let you have it all your own way from a British point of view. I'm just going to move up and let you know that I'm here, followed by Nick Gulab, and we're going to move past and get this race moving a bit.
Well, 2 British youngsters, well, not youngsters so much, but going past Mo Farah. Well, Mo obviously has decided, you know what, I'm just going to win this today. So, what's Nick Gulab doing? He's chasing a 3,000 metre time. That's what he's doing. They're coming up to 3,000 metres, and Nick Gulab must be trying to run a best 3,000 metre time. And indeed, he's just crossed the line in 7:53.82. And I'm going to have to go away and check, because I think that's just outside the qualifying mark that would have been required. And that people are wondering why. So, indeed, as Andy Hayes has stepped off. And Mo must have thought, what on earth is going on here? I hope they told Mo beforehand. And Mo, though, managing to keep it under 8 minutes, 7:56, so he's still on for a pretty good time here. But this is the part of the race where it can't slip. You can't leave yourself too much to do in the last 1,000 metres. But now he can have a little bit of a rest, a little bit of a ride behind Albert Rock.
Yeah, just to clear up there, what I think was happening was those 2 guys were given the chance to chase the qualifying time to join Liam Manuel in the European indoors in Belgrade. I think they were just outside it in the end, but it would have been fairly close. So that was why they were moving past Mo, and like Steve said, I just hope that the guys were warned within that race that there was a race within a race going on.
Do you know what? I think he missed it by a couple of tenths, because it's 7:53 flat anyway. By the way, if you want to listen to us have a bit of a chat about everything we've seen, including Laura Muir's new British record at 4:30 after we finished the live action on the red button on the BBC Sport website as well. So don't forget, hang in there once we finish with the action here. And we'll give you a bit of analysis and a bit of chat about everything, including what's Mo Farah going to do here. Crowd now just sensing, is this a little bit of pressure from Albert Rock being applied? Amdouni is still there, having a very, very good race. And that's something which, well, we've seen this from Mo, haven't we, many, many times, and he still has the ability to pick this up. I just thought today he might have wanted to really make a bit of a statement, but so far, To this point anyway, it looks like he's going to start to just settle for the win here. The only question now, Paula, is going to be at what point does he let rip here? Does he leave it right to the end, or does he try and make it a bit of a longer run from home?
And maybe he's leaving it down to that last 200 metres to see can he just hit the bell and really take a really fast lap and see how fast he can go there. I think his confidence probably did take a bit of a knock. He knew coming into Edinburgh that he wasn't in top shape, but I don't know if he expected to get beaten quite so convincingly there. And he certainly went away to Ethiopia, trained really hard, and he thought was coming out here to test himself a little bit, and he is testing himself, but not over a time trial, over the long distance. He's definitely racing here today and trying out different things, and maybe just taking the chance to enjoy what is his last indoor race, and to enjoy the atmosphere and what he's getting from the crowd, the energy he's getting from the crowd here today.
Through 4,000 metres in 10:36, so a big last 1,000 metres here from Mo Farah. He's certainly well within sight of the British record, that one that stands, the official British record that stands to Nick Rose, 13:21. But the thoughts of that, I'm pretty sure, have gone at this point. It's just Mo thinking, all right, Rock's putting some pressure on. I don't mind that. I'm being asked some questions. I'm going to come up with the answers here. I'm going to wait and do what I normally do. And the crowd just getting a little bit nervous, but I don't think they should worry.
I think Mo likes to get the crowd a little bit wound up, to get them on the edge of their seats a little bit, and then to kind of mix up things in the race. He's not having it all his own way, but Albert Rock is doing a great job here, just stringing out this, keeping the pace moving, putting pressure on El Bakali and Amdouni behind, and Mo looking very comfortable and just composed and waiting, biding his time.
Well, Amdouni ran a 7:44 3,000 just recently, but he looks as though he's working hard, doesn't he, in third place. He did win on that occasion, did outkick one or two pretty good athletes, but I don't think he's got the kick to challenge Mo Farah. Rock knows he hasn't got the kick, so that's why he's stretching it out. His last race was a cross-country race, and here he is trying to take Mo Farah on in a sprint finish. Well, we know how that's going to end up. And then behind them, Al Bakali of Morocco hanging on, and here's Mo now with 2 laps to go, 400 to go. Amdouni trying to react, Al Bakali trying to react as well. But so all Mo's done at this point is just go to the front. He hasn't kicked yet. He just wants to control this. Doesn't want anybody sneaking up on him, doesn't want to have to get around anybody. There are back markers getting in the way, so he wants a clear sight. El Makali moving up 300 metres to go. The crowd rising to Mo Farah here. The tempo is picking up, the noise is getting louder and louder, and Rock coming back for another go with 200 to go, but Farah holds him up, has a little look, checking where the danger is. Another back marker to be negotiated. Rock still hanging on here, and Farah hasn't got this one yet. The familiar high knees, the familiar arms, trying to drive himself forward. Another look behind, and Rock is still there. And Farah's got to give this something at the end here. He's being pushed right to the line, but Farah gets it, and that is a finish that is so familiar, and it's taken him to a new European record as well as a British record, a new personal best for Mo Farah, driven on by good competition from Rock in the end. He obviously decided a few laps out that this is about winning today, and he still had to dig deep there. Mo Farah picking it up at the end, a pretty good last 400 metres and a 27 last 200 metres. But Rob gave him something to think about, worry about there. The result we all thought, the result that everybody wanted, but, and it's not a massive but he was pushed, and yet again Mo probably said that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think he'll think it was a good thing when he goes away and knuckles down to another batch of training now in Ethiopia, but I just think there he was maybe carrying a little bit in his legs coming into this race and didn't feel that good, didn't push on him. Certainly the race was taken to him, and the deciding factor maybe here is just that little bit of the invincibility cloak that Mo holds over the other runners, and I don't think Rock really believed he could beat him over that last lap. He didn't think he was going to be able to close on him, but actually where Mo normally moves away so convincingly, he wasn't really doing that today. He was able to hold it off, and maybe he had a little bit left in the tank there in case Rock was able to come alongside him and challenge him. Certainly I do think he had that 13:10 in his eyes as he was coming down that home straight there, but he was working hard, and I don't think he would have expected Rock to challenge him quite so closely.
Is that a new type of mobile? What was that? Maybe he's just a bit tired. He got that bit wrong, didn't he? Is it? I don't know what it was. Anyway, I'm glad I didn't have to think about things like that. You know, you're running hard down the straight, looking for the finish line. You've got to think about your victory salute. Anyway, well done, Mo. The new European record, of course, taking the British record to boot, a new personal best, a host of personal bests and maybe national records behind him as well. A very fast finish to a race that started out quickly, started out at 13-minute pace, dropped away a little bit, and then came back again under 13:10. So well done, Mo. Back to winning ways. Confirmation there, 13 minutes, 9.16 seconds. And that is just over a second quicker than his run before. As I said, the time before we were mentioning wasn't ratified. Sometimes records, there's all sorts of reasons why they do and don't get ratified, but Mo Farah this time